This is a typical standard outdoor condensing unit which we have downloaded from the BIM store. And if we look at it in a view and also from the file size, you can see that this file is around, here is the file, the properties, it's about 1.35 MB. There's too much detail, and the file size is huge. Typically, the file size will be below 500 KB or kilobytes. So how do we reduce the file size and make it into a more minimal, we need to reduce the file size with minimal disruptions on the drawing. So let's have dissect this family and remove some of those properties that can reduce the file. Let's remove this part. This is something like a peepholes. Anyway, it's always vertical, and I think he has hidden it into something like a posted family. Still processing, and let's save it and see how is the reduction in the file size. Let's save, and let's see how much file size we have reduced just by doing that. The file is here. Let's see the properties, still about 1.35, so there's no reduction. Let's take out some of the extrusion. Here we're going to use this as in the mechanical system, so we don't really need this too much disarray, so we can remove all this extrusion. What we need to know is the dimension, outer dimension of the unit, and the connection points for the pipe, the height of the unit, and the rest is just actually too much detail, so we can take out some of it just to reduce the file size. Because anyway, if we place this in a ridge, all this back area will not be seen, only the front will be seen. Let's remove this blue color, we don't need this, so let's take out all this detail. In coordination, especially mechanical system, the most important is the outer size, dimension, width, height, and length, and the connection point of the piping system for this outdoor condensing. So let's reduce some more. Beside, we will reduce also because it doesn't serve any purpose for us. We can take out some of this extrusion. Just select and delete it. You can also have a simple plain box or rectangular box. Our intention is to make it or reduce the file size to an acceptable level. So once we place this and we have multiple numbers of these units, the file size of the main project will not be that large and can save us some time in the efficiency of the modeling of the drawings. Here we can also reduce here, too much detail. Let's reduce here. Let's see how save it. Let's save this file again, and let's see what will be the outcome of the properties now. Let's see the properties. It has been reduced by 300 MB. It's now about 1 MB, so it's still high. We still need about 50% of it. So let's take out this file. This is another graphic which we don't really need. We also don't need this. Actually, we only need this rectangular box. It doesn't look nice, but let's maintain this just for the sake of aesthetic. Let's reduce this top side. This is another extrusion. Let's reduce the backside. There's another one there. You can still reduce it. We also need this mounting for the floor, so we don't have to touch it. Let's look about the material. Maybe they have set some material color. Okay, it has been set to white. Reduce it. Now let's see what is the file size. Let's look at the reference. Typing. Front view. We have the common one. So here we also don't need to have all this today. We can always place in the model line just to replace this without the extrusion, just for the aesthetic, to show the location of the guards, fan guards. Let's go to the 3D model and let's have that scale back to 1:100. So we can reduce this. Actually, we can go to the front and we can draw in some model lines just to represent these pins. Let's remove this first. We don't need this part. We don't need all this extrusion. We just need this and the whole also. Now let's draw in some. Let's save it and let's see what is the file size now. It's about 740 KB, so we're doing the right thing. Let's further reduce it. Maybe we can still reduce the file size. It looks plain, but let's do some modeling. Let's create model lines, or let's go to detail lines. Let's just go to the model lines. Let's create some let's set the plane first. Pick a plane, set it here, so we can draw some lines and place some circle here. And let's have that symbol repeated. Let's have it, so let's create an offset just to create the impression of the screen and the fan. Let's have it offset by about 200, just to, let's see, 25. We are just representing the fan symbol. Actually 25 is quite a lot. Anyway, we're going to reduce it later. So let's erase this. And let's create some lines just to show the fan guard. Okay, one line here, one line here, one line somewhere here, 45 degree here also, just to create the impression that we have the fan guard here, the one we have the blue. So here we have to stretch this further. Then let's move all this. Let's move it a little bit downward, and let's put it at the center. Typically condenser we have it at the center. Let's go and have a 3D look. It doesn't look nice, but at least it looks and shows that it is a condenser unit, but we have managed to reduce the file size. Here we also don't need this. Typically we don't show this, so we just have to remove this. Too much detail. Actually, we can still maintain footprint, but we need to take out the center part. Get past this. Also take out this. You can only show the four sides. That will still further reduce the size of this file. And let's save it. Let's have it in shaded. At least you can still see it. Let's have this removed. The top part can be removed. So let's further reduce it. File save. So let's save it and let's see what is the file size currently. If we are within the range, we can still use it. Still under 720 KB, so we're still above the 500 KB. We cannot further improve it, so that is the minimum file size we can reduce if we want to use this model that we have downloaded from the BIM store or from the website. So let's see what else we can do. We can put this as basically that's it. We have already tried to reduce it. We managed to cut it by 50%, but this is the basic shape of the object with minimum file size. Let's go to edit. Maybe there is something we can still further reduce. We can take out this. Okay, so that is how to reduce the file size of this object. Maybe let's apply some different color, not the one what we have. Let's take it down and let's apply a different material. Maybe we can still further reduce it. Steel, metal, zinc, and use appearance, hit apply, and then let's see what will happen during shaded. Realistic looks, we can actually paint it white. If you want a white color, you don't need to actually. Okay, let's save it. Done. On the other side, we haven't painted, that's white. Done. File and save. Now let's see what is the file size now. I'm getting this problem with these advertisements. So here, file, save as, family, let's go to desktop and let's save it as another code ABC. Option is 1, click OK, click save. Let's go to the file and this is the initial, this is our original file. This is what we have saved. Check the properties, 776 KB. So it's much higher than what we have done. So we just maintain this file of about 78 KB. I think because of the additional colors, and basically that's it. We can reduce the file, but we cannot further reduce it to our planned file size of 500 KB and below, because this is a model by a different software, and I think it was inserted and used as a object in Revit. So we can still salvage the family, but we will end up with a larger file size. We can reduce it by 50%, by taking out most or omitting out and removing all most of the extrusion and other objects that we find is too much detail on this air-cooled condenser unit. So, thank you.